What is up, guys? So, in today's video, we're going to be talking about everything that went down on the US Capitol on the date that's on the screen. I forget it right now, but I'll have to look it up when I'm editing it. Just a few disclaimers. Stuff about this is still unfolding, and I'm not saying any of this is a fact. This is majority speculation and whatnot. Right now, it looks like the president's about to be impeached. That President Trump is, not Biden. He hasn't taken office yet. But it looks like he's going to be impeached. It's not final yet. If it did happen, you'll probably already have heard about it. As always, I'm sorry if there's any noise in the background. That's my brother screaming at video games. Yeah, let's get into the video. Okay, guys, so on the date that's on the screen now, like I said, something insanely bad to this country happened in the US Capitol. So, a mob stormed basically the mall and ended up breaking into the Capitol building, vandalizing it and whatnot. As this picture shows here, they have giant Trump 2020 flags. People were talking to Capitol Police. This man believes he's a demigod, basically. You know, people were marching through the halls of democracy, basically, with Confederate flags. This guy was sitting in, I believe that was Speaker Nancy Pelosi's, I could be completely wrong though, her desk. Like, this guy stole a podium, and it's all fun and games until you see the mugshot later. Like, he doesn't look quite as amused, right? I mean, like, this picture was one that a lot of news sources were using. The senators that they all had to get undercover, these people were armed. Several people died. I believe a cop died, and one woman got shot. I mean, just overall, it's not a good situation at all, like, it's just not good, guys. I mean, so, let's look at some of the news articles. So, this one, the House barrels towards the second historic rebuke of Trump, measuring, and basically what this was trying to say is that they can use the fourth article of the 25th Amendment to get him out of office a lot sooner, but at least now it doesn't look like they're going to do that. I think they're going to go with impeachment instead, just because I don't think Mike Pence is going to be okay with that. This is another one that says the same thing. They're trying to remove Trump from office and whatnot, but as I said, they're just going to go with impeaching him. Now, you might be wondering, well, what did he do to deserve this? He basically sent out a slew of tweets and a video saying that we're going to have a march on the Capitol, I'll be there with you, which he was not. Blah, 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 blah. All hail me, I'm the great leader. He didn't actually say that, asterisk, disclaimer. But, he was, like, hyping this thing up, and this one news reporter, I forget what news source it was from, but, no, it wasn't a news reporter, it was a House speaker. He said this really well, so I'm not comparing Trump to Osama bin Laden, but I think most of you will be able to understand what I'm getting at. We credit Osama bin Laden with the 9/11 terrorist attacks, right? Although he did not inflict any of the direct conflict, he was still the one, behind the scenes. I feel like, in some regards, Trump wasn't the one who was breaking into the halls of Congress, but he influenced it. As I said, I'm not, what's the word? I don't have brain cells. I'm not, comparing him to Osama bin Laden, but I'm just saying he did influence it heavily. And that's biting his butt because now he's going to most likely be impeached and whatnot. It's not too fun, right? So, GoFundMe banned fundraising for people who had to raise money to fly across the country to go protest here. I mean, is that... Bro, go back to 2018, you boomers. That's when crowdfunding was a thing. Seriously. Twitter shut down Trump's account. I think Spotify did. Why Spotify needs to shut him down, I don't know. But a ton of social medias are censoring all of this. And the protesters are just saying, oh, the media is censoring us. When in reality, they're the ones rioting. As this article says, he did actually acknowledge some of the blame. He acknowledged it, which is okay. He also acknowledged Biden's win, which is amazing for everyone. So now they're preparing for a second wave of this on the inauguration day, February 20th, because that's the next obvious logical step for him. There were a ton of outcries on social media saying, we need to storm every state capital and do the same thing to the state capitals, which is awful. The U.S. government is pulling in the military, or no, the DC is going to take some use of the U.S. military to help make sure everything's safe. I mean, look out for part 2, guys, because, you know, it's more crap's gonna happen. I mean, I just don't understand how these people could think, oh, it's okay, I'm supporting my party, yay, even though he's admitted to losing. I believe that was after all of this happened. But, man, I mean, just don't break into the Capitol, you know? I mean, people were seen having, like, zip-tie handcuffs that were supposedly for some, I think one of the people they were thinking about was for Mike Pence to handcuff him. Yeah, a moment of silence that's being left in just because I mean, and then the best part was Trump, once this happened, he somewhat denied it. See these 2 giant Trump 2020 flags? And he was saying, they have no affiliation with me, blah, 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 blah. And then that happened. Basically, I'm pretty sure they've already impeached him. But if that does go through, and if they try him, which they probably won't have enough time to do, they'd only have 7 days. I'm recording this on Wednesday, January 13th. They'd only have 7 days to try him and convict him. But if they did that, he wouldn't be able to run for federal office again, which is really something that should happen. I mean, and the worst part was, so when the BLM protests happened, he called in SWAT and whatnot. He gassed all of them. But when this happened, he literally called off, like, some military police and whatnot. He just straight up called them off and said, no, they're fine. As they're literally breaking into Congress, vandalizing it, stealing a ton of stuff from it, and straight up looting it. He was like, nah, this is fine. But when some BLM protesters are just peacefully standing in the park, he's like, okay, guys, you know the tactics. Tear gas them, round them up, and arrest them. I mean, this man has gone ballistic. We need to get him out of the presidency as soon as possible. Thankfully, by the time I'm recording this and by the time this goes up, it'll only be like another week most of him being in charge. But man, this man, he's just gone batshit insane. Like, I mean, I just want to know how he thought his career was going to be okay after this. And I saw one guy on YouTube making a comparison before this all happened to Trump. I think it was Matt Pat with Game Theory. He was making comparison to Trump's election tactics like a game show. Or no, yeah, like, not a game show, but like one of those survival shows where it's like, oh, I need to walk across a country with 5 other teams competing and whatnot. And he made a comparison, it was like that, because the person who gets the most publicity and that is the best one. And that was true. I feel like this is his biggest, like, character arc with the betrayal happening. I mean, I just don't see how we can recover from this. I mean, this image, a guy walking down the halls of democracy with a Confederate flag, that is disgusting. Like, you guys know that those were the people who tried to break off from us and whatnot. And, like, the BLM protesters, they were just calling for equal rights and whatnot, you know, and stop being discriminated against. This man is a white supremacist. And y'all don't SWAT him? Like, bro, this whole situation is just super messed up. Like I said, look out for a part 2. I hope all of you guys have already seen what's been happening and whatnot. And if you haven't, just go to a news source. I mean, heck, even Fox is against Trump. And Fox was like his one-stop thing, you know, blah, blah, blah. Fox was the one thing that was always for Trump. But even they, when they were reporting it, were like, this is insane. You guys should go check out, like, actual, sorry, that's my friend texting me. Like, you should check out an actual news source. On a lighter note, though, Optimus dropped a new album. It's for charity. It's pretty fire. That's gonna do it for the video. Peace.